Operation Malama begins. It was the morning after. Everyone left the party with their feelings being stronger, or more confusing, and since Valentine's was just around the corner, one person wanted to talk about the events that went down at the party. Atsumu created a group chat. Atsumu added fine shite, BBL, ass fat, knob, and blog to the group chat. Hello my sucklings. I don't know if I should be scared or disturbed. Both. Okay rude. Why'd you add us Atsumu? Because I know you are all hopelessly in love with your best friends, and I have a plan to get us all to confess. Okay, wasn't looking to get called out today. I feel like we aren't calling you out. I saw you and Sakusa yesterday, getting nervous, pretending to be nonchalant, running off when you thought everyone was asleep. Okay, I get it. I need to really confess too. No need to call me out though. Pause. They ran off together when we were asleep. Yeah wait, is that why my balcony was unlocked in the morning? Heard the whole thing because I couldn't sleep and heard them get up and walk away. They were giggling and holding hands coming back. If they could frolic in a field of flowers, I don't doubt they would. Enough about me. You'll tell me the situation. Well, I'll admit it. I've had a crush on Kags for a while. I only really realized it during our third year when we would hang out a bunch because I was heading to Brazil for 2 years. He went pro and I was training, so we didn't get to talk all that much. When we reconnected, I'd get flashbacks and get nervous around him. When I do, I just run away because I don't know how to face him, like loudly crying face. We always talk though and I feel so natural around him. IDK, it's confusing. Shoyo, I'm going to say this while I hold your hand, okay? Okay. Your crush for him is so cute it's painful. Like both me and Saki were just watching you two, and the whole time we were talking about how obviously the two of you need to get together because the longing from a distance is painful. Okay, but you and Tsukishima aren't much better. I've pretty much known Saki for as long as I can remember. I've had a crush on him for as long as I can remember. Talking about feelings isn't something we do often, so every time I want to bring it up I get nervous and chicken out. We just don't do that often. So it's not questioning whether he likes you but finding the right time. More or less. I wish that was my problem. I wish I knew. Now that you mention it, what is holding you back? I've also known Kuroo my whole life but didn't really start crushing on him until we got into high school, and I'd actually notice how attractive he was. I'd see how he'd treat his girlfriends at the time and Loki with it was me. But I'm not going to ruin a relationship, so I'd pull away to spare my feelings. He's never really mentioned liking men, but he'd been acting odd recently. Maybe it was a breakup, but the last girl he dated was like a year ago, so IDK. Kenma, I am going to tell you right now that he definitely likes men. Oh for sure. The way he kissed you last night was proof enough. We kissed last night. Yeah, actually all of us kissed. Whoa, why didn't I stay? Not each other. Oh, missed opportunity. We kissed our men, though I low-key wouldn't mind kissing y'all. Shoyo. I think what y'all did was more than just a little kiss. I did not need to see y'all making out for a good 30 seconds. Now I kinda wish I did remember. Back on topic. Akaashi. Me and Bo have this odd relationship where it feels like we're dating, but nothing's official. We haven't confessed. Yet it feels like we are, and IDK if he's just clueless or if he just doesn't get that I like him. I haven't said it straight up, but I haven't IDK kept it a secret. Let's solve this problem together. If we're going to do this, we should take it in phases. You're treating this like we're in Mission Impossible. No, I like that actually. Operation Brah. Malama is funnier. Okay, Operation Malama it is. Step 1. Make sure they have Valentine's free so you can spend time with them. Step 2. Drop some lil hints about liking them. Step 3. Confess to them on Valentine's. I'm scared, Loki. What if, to make step 2 easier, we make up like 5 challenges to do to make the whole thing easier? That's like 1 a week, then we get together, talk about it and be there for support. That makes me less scared. Great start. Okay, who has ideas? I know. Indulge in a hobby of theirs. Something other than volleyball. That's a good one. Do something heartfelt. Like genuinely put effort into doing something nice. Give a gift. Make them their favorite food lunch. Just be there. That one could be really cute. I say share a favorite childhood memory. Bonus if they're included. Okay, I see how it is. Right, cause it's not my fault we didn't really interact much until our second year of high school. I know. Initiate a deep conversation. Okay, so that was uncalled for. Was it really? I don't think it was. Show affection in a different way. Like rather than being very head-on and verbal, show more affection through actions. Or actually mention how you care about them. So you're actually the most guilty of this, so you cannot be talking. You're equally guilty, don't even. Snap it out. Must we descend into madness? Hey, that my line. Right, sorry, you're L. Today everyone asks if they have Valentine's Day open. A few hours later, has everyone asked? Yep, good to go. Same, he's also free. Yeah. All good over here. Same. Everyone get ready because next week is indulging in a hobby of theirs. Bye. Indulging in a hobby. Shobio. Shoyo was at Kageyama's house. Being at his would make it easier for Shoyo to figure out what else Kageyama enjoyed doing. Really, he thought he knew almost everything about his best friend, but normally he would be the one inviting Kageyama to things he thought he'd enjoy. This was a new opportunity to bond and it made Shoyo excited. Hey Sho. Hi, Kageyama. How have you been? Just the usual. What do you wanna do? Whatever you want to do. I've decided that today is a day I do whatever you want. Why? Kageyama looked back at Shoyo. There was a glint of amusement in his eyes and that small smile Shoyo had grown to love and appreciate every day. Because I feel like I always share my other hobbies, but I don't know any of yours. It makes me feel like a bad friend. You're not a bad friend, but I guess I can show you. Follow me. Tobio got up and began walking to his room. Shoyo followed close behind. He couldn't help but wonder what Kageyama did. When they got up to his room, Kageyama opened his closet and took out a small box. It's a little embarrassing. I haven't shown anyone, but since you want to try a hobby of mine, I guess I can show you. There, in front of him was a small sketchbook and a pack of markers. Shoyo looked up at Kageyama confused, but when he saw his best friend looking away from him with a faint blush on his face, it clicked. You're sharing your sketchbook with me. I already regret it. Give it back now. No, now I have to look inside it. And so a small chase around the room ensued. Kageyama trying to grab the notebook out of Shoyo's hands with him flipping through the pages. Suddenly he stopped on a specific page. What are you looking at? This prompted Shoyo to turn the page around and show him the page. Looking at it, Kageyama felt his face heat up more and Shoyo looked up at him, slightly embarrassed but flattered. You made a spread of me. It was when you were away, okay? I wanted to see your face again. That made Shoyo flustered and he felt his cheeks heating up, but he felt his heart warm up. That made his expression soften and he smiled. With that he stood and gave Kageyama a hug. Shocked, albeit a little flustered, but grateful, Kageyama hugged back. They sat there swaying in each other's arms until Shoyo pulled away and looked up with a larger smile than before. Say, why don't we both try to draw each other? I bet I can do better. Really? When was the last time you picked up a pencil? Doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll win either way. PFT, you can try. If you couldn't guess. Kageyama won, grinning. Tsukiyama. Yamaguchi has known Tsukishima for years. They met when they were little kids. They've been best friends since they were little kids. They've shared hobbies over and over again. Yet Yamaguchi wasn't sure what new hobbies his best friend had picked up in the time they both had gotten busier after high school. It was one of those days during the week. He and Saki had started a weekly tradition where they would go over to each other's homes for dinner. This week Saki was hosting and Tadashi found the perfect opportunity to ask about more of Saki's hobbies. I'm kinda bored now that we're done eating. Say. I don't like that look on your face. What's up? Why don't you show me what you've been doing during your free time? I feel like I haven't gotten the chance to ask you about it. Tadashi looked up into Tsukishima's eyes. The latter was looking down at him, clearly shocked, but that shock slowly turned into a small blush and embarrassment where Yamaguchi noticed the other muttering and holding his hand up to his face, picking at the dry skin on his lips. So clearly you're scared to show me and I don't know why. Whatever it is, I won't make fun of you for it. Saki looked down, seemingly calmed down by the reassurance, and then began pushing Yams to his room. What are you? Don't talk, just walk. Why? With that, Tsukishima turned Tadashi's face away from him and continued pushing him to the room. Tadashi found the whole thing comical and started giggling to himself while Tsukishima continued to push him. When they got to the room, Kei went over to his closet and pulled out a guitar. You know how much I like listening to music, so I figured that I should try learning how to play the guitar because it seemed like fun. I actually just finished paying it off. Wanna try? Would I? Yamaguchi quickly ran over and sat on the bed and looked up at Saki expectantly. So, you gonna teach me? Okay. Chuckling at his best friend's antics, he walked over to the green-haired man sitting on his bed and sat behind him, helping guide his hands on the strings of his guitar, looking over his shoulder, and whispering in his ear. So what you need to do is... Bokuaka. Keiji was meeting up with Bokuto at a cafe near both of their apartments. The plan was to meet up, chat for a bit and go shopping for a new one as they were going to move in together soon. Keiji had disguised it as being more practical in order to hide the fact that he in fact simply wanted to see Katero more. The older man agreed because why wouldn't he? When they arrived at the cafe, Akaashi noticed something different. Bokuto had brought a laptop. Hey Bo. Yeah, what's up? What's the computer for? You normally don't bring one. Well, I figured that while we were hanging out we could both be getting work done. That puzzled Akaashi. What would he have to work on? His job consisted of being a professional volleyball player. What else did he do? What work are you doing? I'll show you. With that they sat down and Bokuto opened his laptop and slightly tilted the screen to face Keiji. In college, you know how I took that psychology class. Well, I've been doing a little research because I wanted to know more about how participating in a sport you enjoy can affect how your brain develops versus when you don't. You wanna see the paper so far? Yeah. With that their orders came and their day consisted of Bokuto going through the paper, explaining the research, and Keiji couldn't help but admire how passionate Bokuto was to be telling Keiji about his love for studying others. Oh, look at the time. When they glazed outside, the sun was setting and they wouldn't have time to go browsing as Bokuto had practice the next day. I guess we'll have to go looking another day. Thanks for showing me. It always makes me really happy to see you exploring your passions even if I don't show it all the time. I just realized, you never got to get any work done. I always have time to make it up at home. You sharing with me was more than enough today. Kashi, you're so sweet. Feeling fuzzy from the sentiment, Bokuto pulled Keiji into a hug where they both revealed in the comfort of each other's embrace as the sun set behind them. Oh, how I love him. Kuroo Ken. The duo was on call. Kenma had recently just wrapped up the screen with Kuroo and they were both winding down for the night. When Kenma looked over the screen he noticed Kuroo, very focused on typing something and looking at his monitor. What are you doing? With that Kuroo jumped up and sat facing the shop. Kenma already saw the faintest touch of the blood on Kuroo's cheek. Kuroo to Kuroo. What are you freaking out about? Just tell me. I've recently picked a new bedtime habit because you know how I tend to flood it with thoughts before bed. Yeah, and she had recommended I give writing a try, and because we're heading to bed soon I decided to start writing to help me calm down. It's really not that big of a deal. Sorry if I made you curious. Besides, I'm sure my writing isn't that good anyways, we can just draw. When Kuroo looked up to the grown-up faux blonde sitting across the screen from him, all he saw a look of envy that made his heart flutter the way it had every time that man did anything kind for him. Nah, why don't you read it for me? I'm really intrigued. Well, it's really long and I wouldn't want to. I don't have anything important to do, Kenma got into his bed and laid down, propping up his phone on one of his stuffed animals so that he could see Kuroo's face. Be sure. Read along. Okay. Once upon a time there was a Kenma closed his eyes and listened to the voice of the man he had been crushing on for years. Sure, writing wasn't a hobby he was expecting, but he felt so immersed in the story that he couldn't help but smile while listening to Chihiro read something he was initially afraid to share. Sakuatsu. Recently Atsumu and Sakusa had been spending more time together. Both of them knew the other was attracted to them, but they both felt the need to get to know each other better. For that reason, Atsumu knew that this was the perfect challenge for him to do with Kayumi. Thus he had gone over to his place. Atsumu was sitting in the living room watching a movie, while Sakusa had left for the kitchen to go make them a bag of popcorn to share, when Atsumu heard an alarm on Kayumi's phone go off. When he glanced at the name he felt himself get excited. Water plants. Hayumi, an alarm is going off on your phone. It says that it's time for you to water your plants. I didn't know your garden. Can you shut it off for me? I'll be there in a minute. Just as Atsumu hit the stop button on the alarm, Sakusa stood in the doorway looking at the blonde sitting on his couch. I can show you if you want. Show me what? Just follow. With that Sakusa walked out of the room and Atsumu quickly followed. When they reached the back door to the apartment, Sakusa picked up a watering can and opened the door. After you, he said, gesturing for the other to walk out before him. When Atsumu entered he immediately looked around in shock. On his balcony were many different kinds of plants sitting on and hanging on the balcony. How long have you been keeping these plants? There, I'm speechless. It's gorgeous here. I've been gardening pretty much my whole life. It's just something that has helped me keep a routine. Normally I'd be pretty disgusted to have so much dirt around, but it's the one thing me and my parents both agreed on keeping up with, so I guess it's always been something I've done. I can show you them if you'd like. Still moderately shocked, Atsumu nodded and began to follow Sakusa around as he watered and explained each of the plants. This one has actually grown a lot. When I moved out after high school my parents gave me a part of their wisteria plant and now it's grown to almost fully cover the ark. I wish me and my family still had something we all connected on. Before it was my and my brother's love for volleyball, but he quit after high school and I guess we've never really been the same. I had dreamed of us being this unstoppable duo playing for a D1 league, but he loved cooking more. Both men glanced into each other's eyes and Kayumi initiated a hug. Whenever he would, it made Atsumu happy. Knowing he was comfortable enough with him made him overjoyed and he couldn't help but love the feeling of his embrace. We should get back to the movie now. OMG, it's still playing. We have rewind. After you, Subu, he said, following Atsumu into the living room, ever so slightly holding that smile that Atsumu had gotten so used to seeing. It's the end of the week, folks. How'd it go? I learned that Bo really likes studying psych. Wait, OMG, is that why he wanted me to agree to be used for research? That seems so him. It really does. Anyways, I learned that Saki has learned how to play the guitar and he taught me a few chords. He was sitting behind me and holy his muscles were pressing against my back. Ah, I love him. No you do. Mine was so cute. He learned how to draw and he drew a picture of me. I managed to get a picture and I tried to draw him. Still think mine is better but whatever. Why is he good? I don't know but he was so cute when he was showing me his sketchbook like. Ahin Wokes Niasa. Honestly me when I found out my man was writing before bed. Guys, he read it to me like a bedtime story. I love him OMG. Ahaha. He gardens. He's so caring like. He walked me around his little balcony garden and he showed me everything it was so cute Stop. That's actually so cute. He hugged me. When I tell you my heart. I see first week went well for everyone so let's prepare. Next up, drumroll please. Drum with drumsticks. Share a childhood memory. Bonus points still apply. Okay who?